back. It's of course day one of swimming here in Namibia, Region 5, and it's the 11th edition, and we've got finals on day one. Looking forward to it. Of course, we're starting off today's finals with the 200-meter freestyle, as we see the young ladies already lined up and ready for this final. Rian, ready for this one?
Yes, certainly. I think we're going to see some nice action here. 200 meter, the bit longer distances. You have your specialists in this distance. So we have in line 5 we have Jessica Kamodi from South Africa, which is very good swimmer, free and fly specialist. So let's see the start here.
And they're off, and we are geared up and ready for the first final of day one, and it is the 200-meter women's freestyle. And in lane 4 and 5 is the likes of Georgia Els and Jessica Kamodi, as Rian alluded to. Definitely keep your eyes out on those two. Of course, this happening at Swakopmund at the Cube, if you are in the vicinity to come out. We can see an early break there from Jessica, the South African, just giving her counterpart, Georgia Els, a run for her money.
Jessica actually, in the South African short course champs, she had 2024 1 silver, 2 bronze medals. As I said, a free and fly specialist. So she also a finalist in the Africa Junior Championships in Egypt earlier this year with a silver medal in 100 freestyle. So Jessica, quite a good swimmer. Then we've got Georgia Els, also 4 times finalist in the SA National Championships in 2025. She's from Tuks Swimming Club. So Georgia Els also a good swimmer. She is freestyle is not her total speciality. She's a more breast and arm swimmer. Then we have our own Madison Berg in lane 3, also hoping for a medal for her. So let's see what she's doing.
As we see the competition between lane 4 and 5 getting a bit closer there. It's of course Georgia Els and Jessica from South Africa, respectively 19 and 18 years of age. While we see in lane 3 and 4 the competition, or 6 and 3, the competition is heating up with Tori and Madison from Namibia and Zimbabwe in that third place, trying to chase it down. But it does look like in lane 6 at this point in time, Tori is taking it for Zimbabwe at this point in time. And there you have it. Lane 4 seals the deal. It's none other than Georgia Els secures the first medal for South Africa in this championship.
And in lane 3 and 6 there was also a tough competition between Madison and from Namibia and Tori Dor from Zimbabwe.
Good competition there, Rian, off the bat from Jessica and Georgia. These are South African counterparts, and they really put up a show there. As we have another look at the action replay there between these ladies. Of course, the youngest, in this heat was the likes of the Namibian, the 14-year-old Nokosho, that was in lane 7. Just early pictures there of Jessica taking the lead, but then Georgia Els showing her class and coming through for South Africa to seal the gold medal, with Jessica in a second place.
Yes, fantastic performance from Georgia, taking into consideration that she's not a freestyle specialist. So good swim for her there, taking the gold.
Good one indeed, and you can see how far ahead she was there actually against her South African counterpart Jessica in second place, with the Zimbabwean coming in strong in lane number 6. In the next race, of course, it is the 100-meter freestyle for the junior men, and some great names to look forward to, especially in the likes of the Namibian in lane number 4, Luke Bierkes, that will also be in action. What a run he had today earlier on for the Namibian side. In lane number 1, we have Cole from Zambia with the orange and green kit there, followed by Konata from Botswana in your shot. And then in lane number 3, it's the South African Mahan, that is the 19-year-old that clocked in at 50 seconds and 90 splits. While we've got Luke Beekers, the local boykie, the 17-year-old, clocking in at 50 seconds and 12 splits. While we have Joshua Esterhazen also in lane number 5 for South Africa, the 18-year-old, clocking in at 50-24 splits. And then we have Oliver Durand, another Namibian that has really lit up the swimming pool, if you like, earlier on today. And we've got Clayton from Mozambique, the 18-year-old that clocked in at 52.38 in the preliminaries. While we also have Kyle Haynes from Zimbabwe, clocking in at 53.48. Looking forward to this one, Rian?
Yes, there in your screen you can see, on the far left you've got Luke Beekers at number 4 and Oliver at number 6. So we've got 2 of our best swimmers from Namibia, in this finals. Luke is 4 times champ, Namibia National Long Course Championships earlier the year. And he also brought some medals, earlier from Egypt. So yes, we're looking forward in seeing Luke, and then also naturally Oliver, which is a homegrown champ in many disciplines. So let's see how they perform.
Earlier on, this swim was, of course, a tight one for the Namibians, and pulled it through eventually. So what is up for grabs in this one? Of course, as we said, lane 4, 5, 6, definitely lanes to be looking out for when the competition gets tough. As we can see, the Namibian racing off is Luke Beekers with the grey swim cap, followed
this is
by
exciting racing.
definitely close to him is Esterhazen. Close to him is Esterhazen, as well as Oliver Durant. All 3 in the center lanes, really putting up a fight here.
This is a great race. Let's see.
Such a close race as the Namibian Luke Beekers moves quick and fast.
And that's Oliver. Also, Oliver seems to be first.
That was a very, very quick one. We'll need to see up
race.
to the times. That's how close that was. That is how close that was. It looks like.
There you have. It looks
like Oliver Durant that scored that one, followed by Joshua Esterhazen, and then the Namibian Luke Beekers in 3rd place. So 2 medals for the home side, back to back there. Actually,
gold or bronze.
Actually, the South African in lane number 3,
Tumelo Mine,
actually clocked in at that 3rd place and takes the 3rd spot. So 1 medal for Namibia, and it is the gold medal. Ultimately, the one that counts, Rian?
Ultimately. But yes, swimming, we would like to see a lot of medals coming to Namibia. Obviously, I know everybody else is listening in all the other countries. Yes, but being homegrown, we would like to see a lot of medals coming to Namibia.
Just another look at that closely contested match or swim there between these athletes, especially if you look at lane 3, 4, 5 and 6. Keep a close eye on it because that was where the action is. Of course, we do know that as well, that a few personal bests or has been broken there from or betted in this final as well, in lane number 2 and 3 respectively, as well as number 6, 7 and 8. So Oliver Durant doesn't just snatch the gold, he also improves his standings from earlier today with a .67. In your shot there is, of course, the athletes and where they get ready and geared up for the competition. And we can see some great shots there from Zimbabwe. And we can see some action happening now here from, okay, we've got Castro Olumbu standing by with that interview there of
Oliver Duran here, who just won Namibia's first gold medal here at the championships. Oliver, talk to us. How was it for you?
Yeah, very tiring, very unexpected. I wasn't expecting anything too much from this race.
Looking at it, you are the first Namibian to win at these championships a gold medal. How does it make you feel to represent your country?
Yeah, I'm very happy to be representing my country, and obviously to win medals for them is obviously a bonus.
What are some of those races that you can expect from you going forward?
So some of my main events will be the 2 IM and then the 2 and 4 free.
Congratulations, Duran. There was Oliver Duran, who just won the first gold medal for Namibia at the championships.
So of course, the champion is Oliver Durant that took that one from Team Namibia. The first gold medal for Team Namibia at these swimming games at the Region 5, the 11th edition, right here in Swakopmund. As we gear up for the next final, it's of course the women's under 19 50 meters butterfly that we can look forward to. Rian, some of the athletes that you're looking forward to seeing in action in this final.
Oh yeah, there's also a few very good swimmers in here with Indiana de Villiers from South Africa, clocking the best time in the prelims. So Indiana is from Durban, Seal Swimming Club there in Natal. And then we also have Jessica, our homegrown Namibian Jessica Humphrey, also a very, very good swimmer, also a national champion from our nationals, as well as also putting up some good times in Egypt earlier this year, and also going to the Angolan champs, Angolan Independence champs, and also doing some good times there. So then we also have Jade Free from Zambia, very good swimmer, very experienced swimmer, also coming in. And as well as you can see in lane 6 we will have Georgia Els from South Africa. Then another very, very good junior from Namibia, Rosalinda Matai in lane 8. Rosalinda is also a very talented upcoming junior from Namibia, also holding already a few junior records in various disciplines, various styles, sorry. And yeah, so we're looking forward and seeing all of these swimmers performing.
Looking forward indeed, and no, your ears and eyes do not deceive you. We had Georgia Els just in the previous women's final of the 200 meter freestyle, also participating in that one. But it is Jessica Humphrey for Team Namibia in lane number 5 to keep a close look at, with the white swim cap on, and then of course Georgia to her left hand side, and De Villiers to her right.
Right, this is extremely fast event. Just being, going to the one end and coming back. That is extremely fast. With your butterfly being very fast distance.
We can see there off the bat it is the South Africans and the Namibian making a good spur for it, but it looks like De Villiers, the 18-year-old from South Africa, that's actually at the neck of it, followed by her fellow South African counterpart in lane number 6 as Georgia Els, and Jessica Humphreys seems to be third at this point in time. We'll need to wait for confirmation there. Another close race at a fast one, as Rian alluded to. Rian, there we have it on the screen, is of course the results of that race. Your thoughts of that race?
Well, yes, that results came up really fast, so we couldn't see really. But yeah, very, very proud of the Namibian swimmers. But also, all in all, it's this races are extremely fast. So Indiana Jones, clocking a normal 27.75, which is very fast for this type of races. So yes, we're looking at medals for South Africans again.
Definitely so, as we stand by, of course, for that just a replay, just another look at it. As we said, if you blink you're going to miss it, and how close that race actually is with this 50-meter butterfly. Just another look at, of course, de Villiers clocking in first for Team South Africa, the 18-year-old, followed by Georgia Els, and then Jessica Humphreys, the Namibian. And we will be standing by now with the likes of de Villiers as Castro Olumbu takes it over.
In the third race of the day, Indiana de Villiers from South Africa just won a country a gold medal. Indiana, how was the race for you?
Yeah, it was really good. I felt really good in the water. I got the catch that I was looking for, that me and my coach were speaking about. My underwaters was what I wanted, and it was just an amazing race, and I was very happy with it, yeah.
Coming to the championships, how did you practice for these games?
I was a bit nervous. You know, this is my first big competition, and yeah, I started really focusing when I found out I got selected for it. So I'm very happy, yeah.
And going forward, what are some of those competitions you'll be looking to?
Pardon?
Going forward, what are some of those matches that you will be participating in?
I'm not too sure yet, but I'm hoping to qualify for other South African teams, yeah.
Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you.
That was Diana de Villiers from South Africa, who just won his country a gold medal.
Castro Olumbu, of course, there with the champion, the gold medalist, de Villiers snatching that one for Team South Africa. We heard that this is one of her first big competitions, Rian. What a momentous occasion for youngsters going through the ranks here, and isn't that the ultimate objective of somebody like the Region 5?
Oh yes, certainly. You know, although previously it used to be almost a development event, you know, the competition has become so tough that it's actually becoming a real international event with high quality competitiveness. So it's not really development anymore. Although some of the swimmers, you know, do experience the first time international events, you know, at this event. You know, it's really something that swimmers will always treasure, and they will always have, you know, this experience under their belt, which no one can take away. Swimming, you know, against some of the top regional swimmers.
Definitely so, indeed, as we see Nathan Bok, the Namibian athlete, there on your far left-hand side, followed by Watson from Team Zimbabwe, clocking in earlier at a 30.84 for the Zimbabwean. Of course, Jaden Williams as well, representing South Africa with a 30.24, and then Zach Moyo, of course, the fastest in the likes of the heat, and then Matthews from Botswana following short on his heels with a 28.41, and then Matthew Pretorius from South Africa, the 19-year-old, 30.37, and then we've got Yanni from the likes of Zimbabwe, and Luke Fraser from Eswatini. And that is the lineup for this men's 50-meter breaststroke. Another fast one to look forward to, Rian.
Yeah, no, surely. There's some very good swimmers in here. You know, from if you look at Zach Moyo from Zambia, good times that he set in the prelims. Then also we have Matusi Matthews from Botswana. You know, this is one of the first events where we have actually some of the Zambian Botswana swimmers in lane 4 and 5. So we have like Jaden Williams in lane 3 from South Africa, but good to see these countries also in the top lanes.
Top lanes indeed. Definitely for the viewers at home, take a look at lane 3, 4, 5, and 6. And all of them a really good start off the bat, and it seems that they're pretty much neck and neck in lane 4 and 5, and it's of course Munio and Matthews battling it out from Zambia and Botswana, with the two South Africans on either side of them close on their heels, especially when it gets to Pretorius, but it does seem that the likes of Muyo is still keeping the slight lead, and he does grab it and snatch it. It is Muyo from Zambia, followed by Matthews and Pretorius, with of course the score of time confirmation still needing to come in.
Yeah, right. Zach is also from Zambia, but he swims for Belfast. He swims Belfast, so he trains there, and he was also a finalist in the 15th Africa Junior Championship in 2023. So Zach is also a breaststroke specialist.
There you have it. Of course, the confirmation coming through that the Zambians do score the medal through Zach Muyo, as he clocks in at 28:46, followed by Matthews from Team Botswana in 28:82, and then the likes of the South African in Matthew Pretorius that clocked in at 28:99. So a first gold medal for Team Zambia as they across the line first. Just another look at it. As we said, this is a very, very quick race. We've got a 15-meter dash. It's very quick off the bat and into the action. And you can see how closely they were. In Afrikaans, we would say trappe van vergelijking, because they were that close to one another. Another competition that we've seen here at the Region 5 Youth Games here in Swakopmund.
Yeah, right. And also looking at our Namibian swimmer there, Nathan Bok, doing a very good time in 30.25. That is personal best for him. Just doing 5 splits up from his previous best of 35. So very good time for Nathan Bok.
Very good time indeed, of course. It is going to be the medal presentation next after these 3 or 4 finals. So it's off to the medal presentations. And first up for is, of course, the ladies of the 200-meter freestyle, and what a race that was for these ladies. From Team Zimbabwe, it is Tori Idave, and the 17-year-old, and what a race she had there off the bat, claiming Zim's first bronze medal, followed by Jessica Cormoody, and of course the 18-year-old South African, and what a race she had, but she had to play second fiddle to her, of course, counterpart, a South African counterpart. It's Georgia Els in the gold medal position for Team South Africa, getting that first gold medal in that race. All smiles there as we see the South Africans claiming their first 2 medals from this ladies final, freestyle final, and what a momentum, what a moment for these youngsters as they stand on their podium. We will all now take a moment for the South African anthem. there you have it, of course, the first medal ceremony for the ladies freestyle done and dusted, as we see South Africa walking away with their first gold and silver medal at this year's swimming competition, while we've got Tori Deva from the likes of Zimbabwe, the 17-year-old, claiming that first bronze medal for Zimbabwe. What a moment to stand on the podium, Rian, for these youngsters at a competition like like this one.
Yeah, no, surely. You know, fantastic. I think any swimmer, you know, that can reach podium on this type of event, you know, is you know, obviously feeling and being motivated by, you know, getting up there. So this helps also for, you know, the next event coming up during the rest of the championships.
And there we see the gentlemen, of course, from the 100 meters freestyle lining up for their race or for their medal ceremony. And it's, of course, the three, of course, coming in. Bronze medal for South Africa is Mahan from South Africa, the 19-year-old that did quite a good run there for Team South Africa, and he clocked in at 50 seconds 45 splits for Team South Africa. And then his South African counterpart, Joshua Esterhuizen, the 18-year-old, also taking it for South Africa, the silver medal. But it is Oliver Durant from Namibia, the 18-year-old, that actually clocked in at 52 to snatch that gold medal for Team Namibia. It's the first of many, hopefully, for Team Namibia.
I think that was 50:31. Well done, Oliver. That is not his best. His best is 50:06. So that is very close to his best.
Congratulations there to Maham, Esterhuizen and Beekes as they walk away with their medals after that 100-meter men's freestyle earlier on. And what a close race that was. Of course, if you missed that one, you missed one massive race there at the end. Of course, Luke Beekes, the other Namibian, was also still very much in the run of it, and it was such a close one. Of course, the next one for the ladies is then the 50-meter butterfly that we also saw in action, and it will be first the next race. It is the 100-meter women's breaststroke final that we can look forward to, and loads of action when it comes to these ladies. Of course, walking out there in your screen is Kayo from Mozambique, the 19-year-old, clocking in at a minute and 26 splits. While we've got Diogo, that is from Mozambique as well, just next to her country counterpart, at clocking in at 58.88, followed by Cormhout from South Africa, and it is going to be such a close one for these ladies. Pardon me, it is the women's 100-meter breaststroke that we are looking at, and that in your screen is Morgan Cope, the South African, 19 years old, clocking in at a minute and 10 seconds and 75 splits, followed by Georgia Els, that we have seen in 2 other events already. And will this hamper her? Probably not. This is what she has been training for, and it is now her moment to make sure that she gets on that podium once again. Already 2 medals for Georgia Els in the bag, and one of the Namibians that will be in action in this final is Victoria de Sousa in lane number 2. So what a race to look forward to. Of course, the fastest seeded player coming out of the preliminaries here was Morgan Cope from South Africa in lane number 4, followed by Georgia Els, her South African counterpart, in lane number 5. So let's look forward to some great action. And we also have, of course, Nokosho, the other Namibian, in lane number 8, the older sister of the Nokosho sisters. It's all up to this 100-meter breaststroke to see who's going to claim this one in the final.
Yeah, no, fantastic to see our siblings, from Namibia.
And they're off, and it's a quick one. It's 4 of these back-to-back, and what a race to look forward to. It is Morgan Cope, Georgia Ellis, and Johanna Coates that we need to look out for in lane number 4, 5, and 6. It is, of course, Morgan Cope that is taking the lead currently for Team South Africa, looking very much strong there. But we have seen athletes gaining on one another. And will that be the case for Georgia Els, as she still is very much close to her counterpart? But it seems that Morgan Cope is taking this one, with Cope being a full body length ahead of her, of course, of Els at this point in time. Now it is down to number 3 in lane 6 as well, as the race continues. As it gets closer and closer, it does seem that it is Chan from Botswana in lane number 3 that is closing in, and there you have it. It is Morgan Cope that snatches the gold for South Africa, followed by a South African counterpart in lane number 5, and then Chan from Botswana in lane number 3 for the bronze medal. What a race there from the South Africans, and it is then the likes of Morgan Cope that snatches that one, Rian.
Yeah, no, fantastic from Morgan. Also a very experienced swimmer from South Africa. Looking at her time, also dropping from her seed time, going to 107.74, which is a very, very good time for the Namibian breaststroke. Then also we're looking at our Namibian swimmer Ariana, doing 1:16, also a very good time.
Taking 2 seconds off her original time that she had in the preliminaries, so good swim there as well. As for Victoria de Sousa for Namibia as well, taking 1 second and 16 splits off her originally preliminary times. So what a good race there. But Rian, I would like to talk to you about Georgia Els. This would be her 4th final that she's partaking in at this particular race and session for today. Does that contribute to perhaps a athlete's fatigue at this point in time?
Well, yes, but I think they train so hard every day that they should be ready for this. Swimming 5 to 10 kilometers, 6, 7, 8, 10 kilometers a day. Training in the morning early for 1 hour and a half, afternoons 2 hours. So I think they are really fit. They should be able to compete competitively in all of these events. So it's also not a long event. So you can give your power and then you can recover. So the time in between is enough to recover, so that you can compete and be competitive in the next event.
Now, Rian, for somebody that does not understand swimming all too well, what are some of the recovery that these athletes can do in such a short span of time to make sure that they are ready for the next race, like Georgia Els in this instance?
Well, as you can see there, Ariana, the swimmer from Namibia, she's chewing on an energy bar. So that's basically what you do. So it's protein bars. So just eating some protein bars, getting in some carbs through, drinks like Powerade or Energate. They can get the energy levels back. So you also need to do that, extremely quickly after you've raced, just to get that energy levels back.
And we saw, as Rian alluded to, that Ariana will be in action just 2 heats from now on, and as she will be taking part in the women's 200 meter butterfly, so she definitely needs that energy bar just to reboot and reanalyze her systems and make sure she's geared up and ready for that final. Of course, coming up is the men's 100 meter breaststroke as well. Are you looking forward to that one, Rian? A lot of names to look forward to, but I probably think Oliver Durand just was one of the athletes that we just saw get one of those medals earlier on for Namibia, the first gold for Namibia. Looking forward to that one?
Yes, no, certainly. The breaststroke is one of Oliver's specialities, so he's quite a good breaststroker, and although he's also extremely good all-rounder, breaststroke is one of his specialities, and the 100 meter backstroke. The 100 meter backstroke is a very good event for him as well. So you will see that he's also seated top in this, and so Oliver will probably be looking at hopefully another gold for Namibia here, with the 2 South Africans, Lance Cromhout in lane 3 alongside him, and also Christian Estronhuizen in lane 5. So both of them are extremely good swimmers. So this is a race between the 18-year-olds, as you can see, which is going to be exciting.
Do you think maybe that Lorenzo Estreisen, the 16-year-old Namibian in lane number 6, could possibly give these 3 18-year-olds a run for or swim for their money, if you like?
Yes, Lorenzo is a very, very good swimmer. He's, although he's only 16 years old, he's extremely motivated. He's a good swimmer, and he will certainly be looking at, doing his best, hopefully sneaking in, in getting a medal.
As we're talking about getting a medal, is of course the ladies for the 50-meter butterfly lining up for the medal ceremony and owning the moment in the spirit of the Region 5 Youth Games here in Swakopmund. In third place, it is the home girl, and it is Jessica Humphrey, the 17-year-old, snatching that third position for Team Namibia, and a bronze medal on the board for Team Namibia. Of course, she was competing against none other than Georgia Els, that scores her second medal for the evening for Team South Africa. The 19-year-old was in lane number 6 and gets that silverware around her neck. But she had to compete against her very own South African, the 18-year-old Indiana de Villiers, and it is her that was in lane number 4. And what a competition between these three. And it came down to the wire, but it is de Villiers that grabs that gold ultimately, as we prepare to hear the South African national anthem. Big congratulations there once again to the ladies. Jessica Humphrey from Namibia snatching a bronze medal for Team Namibia, second of the night for Namibia. And we've got Georgia Els in lane number 6 that snatched the silverware for South Africa, her second medal of the evening. And then Indiana de Villiers snatching the gold in the 15 meters butterfly here at the Region 5 Youth Games in Swakopmund.
Yeah, fantastic for Georgia. They're not coming in as a favourite in this event. So snatching away the gold from probably Indiana. So that was quite a feat.
And now we stand and gear up for event, the one that we have been waiting for as well, for where we have Oliver Durant that will be in action in the 100-meter backstroke for the men, and it is an event to look forward to. But before that, we are off to yet another medal ceremony as the boys line up for their medals and gear up for what is next in terms of that. As we see the South African, of course, the likes of Matthew Pretorius gearing up there for snatching that bronze medal for Team South Africa, followed by Matthews from Botswana as he takes the silverware. And then the Zambian Zach Moyo that had a really good swim, and what a race that was between these three, especially for the men's 50 breaststroke. And it is Zambia that scoops the medal in the men's, their gold medal in the men's breaststroke. What a race that was. But here we will now listen to the Zambian national anthem as Zach Moyo scoops that gold. Congratulations once again to those gentlemen. Of course, the 50 meters breaststroke for the men there, and it is Zach Muyo from Team Zambia that walked away with that medal. And as we see the officials officially preparing for that backstroke that we've been touching so ever so slightly on, of course, Oliver Durant that will be in action there for Team Namibia, Christian Estreisen, Lorenzo Estreisen, and then Komhout from South Africa. What a race this promises to be, Rian.
Yeah, as you can see, they were busy, in the call-up area, just preparing to come on, when they are announced. So as you can see, the officials are there now putting on the backstroke ledges, which enable them to push off from the wall when they do their start for the backstrokes.
And in your shot, the athletes are geared up and ready, and you can see still some of them might be having the earphones on, getting into the zone, as they would say. And that is the athlete from Botswana, Konat that is ready for action there with his headphones on. Of course, the top seeded here is the Namibian Oliver Durant, that will be in lane number 4. He has qualified through the preliminaries with a 54.73 seconds split on the screen, and we have the Mozambican first and foremost with Kyle clocking in at a minute and 26 splits. So good to have Mozambique also in the building and ready. We also have Diogo Boca from the likes of Mozambique that clocked in at 58.88 splits. And then we have Lance Kromhout from South Africa. What a race they had, and he will be in lane number 3 to represent the South Africans, followed by Oliver Durant from Namibia. The Namibian, in your screen as well, clocked in at 54.73, while we have Christian Esterhuizen, another South African, as Rian alluded to, the battle of the 18-year-olds in lane number 3, 4 and 5, and then of course the other Namibian boyki that we can look forward to is then Lorenzo Esterhuizen in lane number 6. The 16-year-old clocking in earlier today at a 57.15 split. And then we've got Botswana in lane number 7. Looking forward to that action as well. And then Zimbabwe's very own Emmanuel in lane number 8, clocking in at 1 minute, 1 second and 1 split. Rian, what a coincidence. 1 minute, 1 second and 1 split.
Yeah, right. So all of these swimmers, are household names in this region, with Caio from Mozambique in lane 1, Diego Boca from Mozambique also in lane 2. Those two 19-year-olds are household names in all these competitions. You go to Lance Kromhout, Oliver Durant, Christian Esterhuizen, they're all household names. With the youngster Lorenzo Esterhuizen from Namibia, up-and-coming swimmer. Then we have Rainer Kunat, also from Botswana, also not that household, but he's got a really good entry time under 1 minute. And then we have Emmanuel Sebanda from Zimbabwe.
As we gear up for the start of the men's 100-meter backstroke. And they are off and ready, as we see very quickly how these athletes will be competing. There is a strong emphasis on lane number 4 and 5 early on, as we see Oliver Durant with a good turn, followed by Christian Esterhuizen as well, with Esterhuizen just popping out of the water just ever so slightly from Oliver Durant, but still very much neck and neck in lane number 4 and 5 between Durant and Esterhuizen, with the likes of Kromhout in lane number 3 close on their heels, and in 4th currently is Lorenzo Esterhuizen for Team Namibia, the 16-year-old. So down to the race between Oliver and Durant with less than 25 meters, or just over 25 meters left, and it is the likes of Durant that clocks in and snatches it just it seems. Your thoughts on that one, Rian? It was a pretty close one between those two at the end.
No, good race. Oliver actually won by quite a few distance, but the two South Africans, if you can see the times there, just a few splits between those two. Lance Kromhout and Christian Esterhuizen in the Esterhuizen with the silver medal, and Kromhout in the bronze, respectively. Then Lorenzo Esterhuizen from Namibia also coming into the 4th place, so also a close one there for him. But yes, Oliver Durant clinching this gold medal. Well done, Oliver.
So that is then Oliver's gold medal for this one. It is his 2nd gold medal for the evening, as he walked away with the 100-meter freestyle just earlier on for Team Namibia, followed of course with a silver medalist in Christian Esterhuizen, and it was a close one at the end, but a whole second splitting the two at the end, with a 54.97 for Christian Esterhuizen, followed by the likes of Lance Kromhout with 55.49 in lane number 3. So 1, 2, and 3 coming through there for these teams. And we will be listening in on Oliver Durant as we cross over to the likes of that's of course Castro Ulumbu that's standing by with the champion.
Oliver Durant, once again, what a professional. Oliver, talk to us. How was the race again? Another gold medal.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Just been working on my underwater works lately, so I'm glad that it's paying off.
It was a very, very difficult race, we could see, with top opponents. How did you make it through this one?
Yeah, just kind of going through my training. I knew what I needed to do, and again, just training led me to it.
Second gold medal for you. How hard did you train for these championships?
It's just part of my training blocks, really. Obviously, it's a pretty important event for both me and Namibia, so I'm just glad that I can perform well for them.
Congratulations, Skip. Another one again, that is Oliver Durant, second gold medal for Namibia.
So I cannot wait to talk to, of course, the president of NASFED that is in, of course, the commentary booth with me, Rian, doing it there for Team Namibia. And this is not Oliver's specialty, as you mentioned off air.
No, not really. You know, he's more into the individual medley and also the breaststroke. So, but you know, you never know. I mean, these swimmers also develop so fast into the other disciplines. Like as you've seen now with Oliver, you know, although Oliver is a very, very good all-rounder swimmer, you know, he's if he puts his heart to it, I think, you know, he can perform in any of these events, which is fantastic, you know, since yeah, swimmers like him is quite scarce, because normally at his age you do get you do specialize in only certain events. So as you can see, you know, also the Els girl from Georgia, Els from South Africa, she's also seems to be a good all-rounder. You know, coming into events that if you look historically isn't a speciality.
As we see the ladies for the 200-meter butterfly coming out, and it's going to be a close one between these ladies. Of course, in lane number 4, it's Anya van As from Team Zambia that clocked in as the highest ranked athlete seeded time for this one. We did not have a heat for this one earlier this morning, so these ladies coming in as they are, and also Kathleen Horn from South Africa, and Namibian, of course, in lane number 6 in Nukosho that we spoke about earlier. So keep your eyes on these, but it is the butterfly 200 meter for these ladies.
Yes, no, 100%. We're looking forward at this race. Fly is always a very nice race to watch.
In your shot there was Haley Hoy from Eswatini, and they are off the race quick and fast, and it is off to a good one there. Of course, a very neck and neck with lane number 3, 4 and 5. It's Hoy, Van As and Horn that is in this race very much, and Namibia's Nukusho on the right hand side in lane number 6, but it does look like it's the battle of Zimbabwe and South Africa, with Van As and Horn giving each other quite a run there, and we can expect a lot from these ladies, Rian, at this point in time.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just speaking of all-rounders, the South African Caitlin Horn in lane 5, you know, is also a very, very good open water swimmer. So she's also one of these all-rounders that's really good in a lot of disciplines. Also, you know, swimming open water, swimming, you know, 5 kilometers in the open water. So Caitlin is one of those versatile swimmers.
As we see the Zimbabwean now with a bit of a slight lead, gaining there quickly, and it is the likes of Van As that is pulling away now even more, and it is in lane 3 that it seems to be Hoi from Eswatini that is still putting up quite a fight for that third position, neck and neck with Nokosho from Namibia. So we'll definitely be looking to keep a closer eye on that third place finish, because it does seem like the race is there at this point in time. Will it be Nokosho or Hoi? And it is definitely Van As that takes it so far in terms of lane 4. Good turnaround there for Nukusha, but it does seem that Hoi does have a bit of a quicker turn there in lane number 3 for Team Eswatini at this point in time. Nukusha is still fighting very hard, and in the fight, will this last turn be the one that makes the difference? But we can really see Horn pulling away, or Van As pulling away at this point in time for Team Zimbabwe, as Caitlin starts to fade away to the back, and it is gold for Team Zimbabwe, as we see the likes of Caitlin Horn. And it's so close between Eswatini and Namibia.
That was really close now.
Rian,
Yeah,
which one would you call it?
Well, I'm not sure. I think we need to look at the times in the end.
We will definitely need to look at the times in the end, as the athletes also wait in suspension as the times come up there. And in number 3, it is Hoi that snatches it, unfortunately for Team Namibia. But what a performance for Eswatini, as Hoi takes it. Hayley Hoi takes it and improves her personal best with 6 seconds and 52 splits for Team Namibia. For Team Eswatini, apologies. And 1, 2, and 3 confirmed there, as Van As snatches it with a reasonable margin, followed by Caitlin Horn and then Hayley Hoi in lane number 3 for Eswatini. Just another look at that beautiful race, and how quick it was off the start. Very neck and neck for lanes 3 down to 6, but then it was Van As that slowly but surely pulled away, bearing in mind that even though she won this race by a reasonable margin, it was still not better than her heat earlier on today. It was, of course, 2 seconds of course higher than previous times, but what a race there nevertheless, as of course Caitlin Horn in lane number 5 that was in second place, and then Hayley from Eswatini in third, followed by the Namibian. But what a race it was at the end there by lane number 3 and 6 respectively, just with mere split seconds of splitting the two at the very end for Team Namibia and Eswatini.
Race 107, so a spectacle from Anya from Zimbabwe. Anya, congratulations. How was the race for you?
It was really great. I'm so happy with my time. I didn't really know what to come in expecting this, but I'm just so thankful. I'm thankful to the Lord for keeping me going these past few months in the winter.
How does it feel to win a gold medal for your country and to represent your country at these games?
It is such an honor. This is my first Region 5 games. It's such a great vibe, and I'm so grateful to be here.
Let's talk about the country itself. What have you seen here, and what have you enjoyed so far in the country?
Yes, it's a really beautiful country. I didn't know Namibia was so beautiful. The scenery is amazing. I love the pool. It's a great venue overall.
Congratulations, Anya.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was Anya from Zimbabwe. She just won her country a gold medal.
Thank you so much, the Castro Lumbu standing by with Anya, and just preparing or just snatching that gold medal for Team Zimbabwe at the end of that race. As we see the athletes lining up for the medal presentation, it's of course the ladies in action. Of course, Georgia Els at the back end of that medal presentation. And we do have the likes of Chan that will be taking the bronze medal for the ladies 100 meters breaststroke that they had earlier on. And Chan really putting up a fight in that instance, and snatching away that win from the likes of Joanna from Zambia. But we will be waiting for those special announcements surrounding the medal presentation. Rian, what a race that was earlier on between those ladies, and what a fight to stay in.
No, surely. This South African swimmers are fantastic. Also just in terms of how they perform all over, especially in the Africa context. South Africa, is one of the top countries, together with Egypt, good countries, good swimming countries. Yes, so the smaller countries, also don't have the volumes in terms of swimmers, but they all try their best. I think, if you're looking at a country like Zimbabwe, also being, a good swimming country for many years, producing good swimmers all over. So yes, there's in this region, we've got some very good talent, real talent, especially on the youth arts, and it's so good to see, this youthful swimmers coming up, from and still keeping on with the swimming, with the training, juniors coming through, breaking records coming up.
Breaking records and coming up, and talking about coming up, it's Morgan Cope that snatches the gold medal for Team South Africa, the 19-year-old, in that 100 meters breaststroke for the ladies earlier on. So where it's Chan in third place and it's Els in second, while we have Cope in first as we listen to the national anthem of South Africa. There you have it. Congratulations once again to those three ladies. Chan from Botswana gets the bronze medal for her side, as well as Georgia Els with yet another medal for Team South Africa, followed by Morgan Cope in the gold medal position. And what a moment for these three ladies getting those medals for their respective countries. Of course, we do have the relays coming up. What is the nicest part about a relay for you, Rian?
Oh well, that's a difficult question, but
everything.
It's especially the switch overs. Sometimes a race is won or lost at the switch overs. So if you start too slow from the blocks, I think you've got a problem. So, but it's just exciting all in all to watch relays.
Exciting all in all. And talking about excitement, this race between the 100-meter men's in the backstroke was one definitely that you had to keep your eye out on. And as we heard, Oliver Durant in the center of your screen, not his speciality, but really coming through and clocking in a good time for Team Namibia. But it is Lance Kromo that got the bronze medal for Team South Africa in that instance. And we have also the likes of Christian Esterhuizen for Team South Africa that also snatched the silverware in that one. And then the local boykie himself making it 2 golds for 2 in this instance, and getting it's none other than Oliver Durant for Team Namibia. Proud president?
Always. If the swimmers from Namibia are doing so well, we are proud of them.
Proud of them indeed, as we gear up for the Land of the Brave anthem of Namibia. Congratulations once again to those 3 athletes. In 3rd place, it was Lance Kromo from South Africa, the 18-year-old, followed by Christian Esterhuizen for Team South Africa in the silverware, and then Oliver Durant with the gold for Team Namibia. As we said, Rian, proud president for Team Namibia.
Yes, surely. Quite happy to see our swimmers on the podium. I think we're going to have the 200-meter butterfly medal presentation coming up, and unfortunately there was no Namibian, but we'll have some of the other countries also represented there. So 200-meter butterfly. Am I correct or not?
I think we are waiting. I think the ladies are taking their time, first and foremost, to make sure that they do look medal presentation ready. But as for now, it looks that we are back in the technical area, as we've got, of course, the relay of the men's 400-meter freestyle coming up. And we did touch on that ever so slightly, Rian, just the excitement surrounding a relay. And it's like watching a 100-meter relay in athletics. It's the exact same thing. It's just the people diving into water.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Basically, it's as I said earlier, it's a fantastic event. Always, it doesn't matter what type of relay it is, whether it's a medley or whether it's just freestyle. It's very good to watch.
So Rian, maybe for the average person at home that might not be following swimming all that much, what is the difference between a medley and the freestyle at this point in time for these relays?
So freestyle is basically your just your normal crawling freestyle. So all the swimmers swim the same style. With your medley, it's basically all the different styles. So one swimmer swims a freestyle, other swimmer swims a breaststroke, other swimmer swims the fly, and the other swimmer swims a backstroke. So that's called a medley. So it's an IM.
It's a like a round robin, if you'd like. It's a bit of everything in like a chips pakkie, if you want to take it that way. But we're looking forward to that one and ready for that action as we wait for that 100-meter freestyle for the boys.
No, that the medley actually shows your medal. I mean, with swimming, it's totally different from other sports, where you have to perform in a lot of different types of styles. Where, for example, in athletics you run and that's it. Although you've got long distance running, you've got short distance running. In swimming, you have the different styles also. Although you have long distances in the freestyle, you have the different styles, in that you can perform, in the pool.
So top seeded in this one is then of course the South Africans, and it is with 3 minutes and 20 seconds and 78 splits that they are in the lead, while Team Namibia clocked in their seeding time at 3 minutes and 30 seconds and 84 splits there for Team Namibia. Of course, we do have Luke Beekers in action for Team Namibia, team captain Michael, and then we've got Rodney Fieres and Oliver Durand that already has 2 medals, gold medals to his name for Team Namibia. And Team Zimbabwe, we have them clocking in at 3 minutes 33 seconds and 9 splits, and Team Mozambique in 3 minutes 32 seconds and 32 splits. So very tightly contested race, this one, for all these teams as they prepare for the relay. Of course, the first one on the board is the men's 100-meter freestyle relay, and what a of course a fixture this promises to be. As we said, loads of action to look forward to when it gets to this race. As we see Team South Africa lining up, there is Joshua Esterhuizen, Guy Wessels, Matthew Pretorius, and Maham for Team South Africa. Of course, very strong swimmers in this race, with Team Namibia, Luke Beekers, 17 years old, Rodney Fieres, 15 years old, Captain Michael, and then Oliver Durand, 18 years old. To the right hand side is of course Team Zimbabwe that we did mention earlier on, clocking in at 3 minutes 33 seconds and 9 splits, while Team Angola will also be in action in lane number 7. It is Fernandez, Tati, and Santiago and David that will all be representing the Angolan side. Of course, Namibia's neighboring country up to the northern side. As we wait and prepare for the start, the first relay of the evening here at day 1 of swimming at Region 5. And they're off, and it looks like a good solid start there from all of the swimmers. It looks like South Africa is putting quite a fight up in lane number 4, followed by Namibia. And it looks to be a race between Namibia and South Africa, with 4 lanes 3 and 6 also tightly contested. Great racing here by Team South Africa, slightly pulling away now from the Namibians in lane 5. And the race still remains between lanes 6 and 3 between Zimbabwe and Mozambique, but it does seem that Zimbabwe is ever so slightly gaining that lead, as we see the next racers, of course, jumping in, and it's still Team South Africa in the lead ever so slightly. But what a synchronized turn there by Namibia and South Africa. So it seems like they are gaining quite a bit there. But now it still looks like Team Zimbabwe in lane 6 and is really gaining some momentum and pulling away from Mozambique in lane 3. There you can see with that turn that, of course, South Africa does have the edge over Namibia now. It is up to that third place position between Mozambique and Zimbabwe. That is where the race is at. Only time will tell whether or not the home side can fight their way back here in this instance. But it does seem that South Africa is just too strong and pulling away quite a bit now in this race. Still, the fight remains with Zimbabwe and Mozambique in lane 6 and 3 respectively on your left and right of the screens. And it is quite the fight, as we see one last turn at the starting point before they need to come back, and that will be the next set of swimmers that will dive in. Of course, with South Africa strong in the lead here, and followed by Namibia. And then what looks to be at this point Zimbabwe, followed by Mozambique in 4th. There you have it, Namibia diving in 2nd, followed by Zimbabwe just ever so slightly with an edge over Mozambique. And it is over to the 3rd, of course, swimmer for these sides. On your far right hand side is Team Angola, while you've got the far left hand side in lane number 2, Botswana also still having the fight in the competition for that 5th and 6th place at this point in time. These are the Namibians as they come along well. It does seem to be Rodney Fieres that is in action for Team Namibia, while we've got Zimbabwe actually breaking up a considerable lead, while we see South Africa claiming that gold medal in the freestyle for Team South Africa, followed by Namibia and then Zimbabwe in lane number 6. There you have it, 1, 2 and 3. It is Team South Africa followed by Namibia and then Zimbabwe. So that is how it lines up at this point in time for these teams. And we see Namibia actually improving on the standings as they came into this. They were at 3 minutes 30 seconds at 84 splits, and they currently stand and improve it to 3 minutes 28 seconds and 75 splits. So definitely something they would be smiling about in terms of improving the personal bests at this point in time. We see then in 6th place it was Botswana, followed by Angola in 5th and Zimbabwe in 4th, with Mozambique snatching the 3rd place away in that very last dash for glory. So there's just a replay in the beginning of the race. Of course, South Africa and Namibia very closely contested there up until that 2nd changeover, and slowly but surely pulling away was South Africa. And then the fight for, of course, these 3 stayed in Mozambique, and for the top 3 was between Mozambique and Zimbabwe. And what a race it was at the end between lane number 3 and 6 respectively. Of course, next up is the ladies that will be in action in the 100-meter freestyle, and of course it will be Team Angola, Namibia, South Africa, Zimbabwe and Botswana, with South Africa and Zimbabwe being the top seeded teams in this instant. As we see Team Angola coming out there representing well for their country, of course, on the top of border for Namibia. And there you have, talking about Namibia, is Team Namibia as Madison Berg, Roslinda and Nukosho, and Humphreys in action for Team Namibia, while we have a very strong South African side in Comedy and De Villiers, followed by Cope and Maya for Team South Africa. On their right hand side, in line number 5, will be Anya van As, that also got a gold medal earlier on. Tori will also be in action for them, as well as Alexis Johannes and Michaela for Team Zimbabwe. On the right hand side, it will be Team Botswana as they get ready for this ladies freestyle. Team Namibia in lane number 3 and South Africa in lane number 4. Zimbabwe in lane number 5, all the 3 to look out for. And they are off, and a good start for all of these ladies. And it looks like South Africa already in the front with the likes of Jessica setting the pace for Team South Africa. Short on her heels is, of course, Zimbabwe with Tori, the 17-year-old, also giving her a swim for her money, if you like. And don't throw away Botswana, because they seem to be very, very active in lane number 6, with Namibia currently in what looks to be the 4th position. South Africa is still building on that lead, about a body's length ahead now at this point in time, with the race still between lane 3 and 6, with Botswana and Namibia needing to fight it out for that 2nd position. There's a clear indication of the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, but Botswana still very much in that fight, and it does seem that Chan is now in the water for Team Botswana, and Team Namibia well represented and fighting still hard for that bronze medal at this case and in this instance. South Africa is showing real class here as they start to pull away. Of course, those names that we highlighted earlier on really coming to the fore here for Team South Africa. As we see the next changeover, South Africa first to change over to the 3rd swimmer, followed by Zimbabwe, and then the home side, Namibia. It is up to that 4th battle now, with lane 6 and 2 between Botswana and Angola battling it out, and that's where the race is at currently, in those 2 lanes 2 and 6, between these 2 countries. One more changeover to come for each of these, with South Africa really pulling away, almost half a pool ahead of the rest of the chasing pack. The fight still between Botswana and Angola in lane number 2 and 6, as we see South Africa with the last and final changeover, followed by Zimbabwe and then Namibia's changeover. And it seems that Botswana is just edging out Angola for the time being on the opposite end, between those 2 lanes, as we see both of them with their changeovers. Race is still very much on here between the likes of Botswana and Angola, but South Africa seeming to really put a rest to this, early on, with Zimbabwe in second and Namibia in third. As you see there on the wide shot again on the left hand side, far left and right, what a competition between Angola and Botswana. And that race really tightening up as we see South Africa clinching yet another gold, followed by Zimbabwe and Namibia not far off, actually closing that gap at the very end, in lane number 3. So 1, 2 and 3 confirmed there, and it's just down to the times for these athletes as we see the final race coming in, and it does seem that Angola actually snatched that one at the very end, away from the Botswanans, and they did so correctly. It is Angola in 4th place, followed by Botswana in 5th, and of course the first 3 going to South Africa, Zimbabwe and Team Namibia with the bronze. Of course, the Team Namibia actually also improving just like they men, with a staggering 2 seconds and 20 splits, to compare to how they came into this lineup. Of course, just earlier on they were on 4 minutes 2 seconds and 59 splits. They currently ended this race with 4 minutes and 39 splits. So job well done there to the Namibians, but it is all about South Africa and clinching that first place gold medal with a dominant performance over this category. Of course, in the ladies 4x100 meter freestyle here in Swakopmund. If you do or currently are in the area, we still have one more race to make a turn here at the dome, the cube just next to the dome, to catch that action. And it does seem that we will be having medal presentation first and foremost, for the action, or we will be preparing for that action. There's some of the officials that are officiating at this year's youth games here in Swakopmund. Of course, 2 host countries for Namibia. Of course, majority of the games being played in Windhoek, the capital, with athletics and swimming taking center stage right here in Swakopmund, as of course the holiday destinations of loads of Namibia, and it is where the desert meets the ocean. As we prepare for this medal presentation, as it is the 100 meters butterfly that we saw of the individual ladies earlier on in the evening. It is of course Van Us that took the gold medal, Horn with 2nd place, and Haley just in 3rd place for the likes of Eswatini, snatching it away from Nkosho at the end there, the 14-year-old. But what a performance from the Namibian at the end of that race. And in 3rd place, we've got Haley Hoy from Eswatini, the 17-year-old that really put up quite a fight and gave Nkosho from Namibia quite a bit of a run for her money, and actually improved her tally or her score with a staggering 6 seconds and 52 splits. So congratulations to Haley from Eswatini on that performance. Of course, in 2nd place was none other than Caitlin Horn from South Africa, the 18-year-old that unfortunately did not improve, but still did enough for that 2nd place finish. And then we also have the Zimbabwean, and you can hear the Zimbabweans very much local and vocal here in the cube. It's Anya Van As for Team Zimbabwe. as we see the very vocal supporting teammates there from Zimbabwe, of course, supporting Anya Fanas as she snatches that gold medal for the women's 200 meter butterfly in that event. Of course, coming up next is then the one, the only, and it is the 4 by 100 meter medley that we did speak about earlier on, and it is the mixed relay, so it's going to be a mixture of different styles as well as the boy and girl child on display. So the best of both worlds for these teams are coming up next as we see the athletes preparing for the side. Of course, the top seeded is Team Namibia in this instance, and it is Jessica Humphrey for Team Namibia that will be in action, followed by Oliver Durant, Luke Biekes, and then Madison Berg. So very good, strong side there for Team Namibia that will be in action, and they will be challenged by South Africa in lane number 5 with Christian Estreisen, Georgia Alice, Matthew Pretorius, and Jessica Kawamudi that have all been in the medal presentations earlier tonight. So what a race to look forward to. But don't throw away the rest of the pack. Of course, in lane number 3 it is Botswana that will also be giving making their voices heard, as there's just a second, less than a second difference between them and South Africa in their seeding time. And we also have the likes of Zimbabwe in lane number 2 and Mozambique in lane number 6, with Angola and Zambia on the outskirts of the lanes. And what a race this promises to be. Just another look at of course that shot of the pool here in the cube in Swakopmund. Of course, this being a 25 meter pool, and the reason for that is normally that competitions will be held in a 50 meter pool for team in Namibia or in these competitions, but for Namibia and this competition it had to be held in a winter pool, meaning that it needed to have a bit of a heater in it, and Swakopmund offers that with the cube, as we've seen team Zambia walking out there, followed by team Zimbabwe with their 4 athletes that will be taking center stage. There is Team Botswana well represented, clocking in a seeded time of 4 minutes 14 seconds and 80 splits are on the time sheet, as well as Team Namibia with the best seeded at 4 minutes 4 seconds and 24 splits to take lane number 4. South Africa in lane number 5 with 4 minutes 13 seconds and 18 splits. And in lane number 6 it's Mozambique with 4 minutes 19 seconds and 21 splits. Of course, both Zambia and Angola, no official time for them, so they will be recording that official time at this competition for those two countries in the far ends of the lanes in lane number 1 and 7. So as Rian alluded to earlier on, this is of course not just a mixed relay in terms of the genders, but as well as the styles, and that is why it's called the medley. For the viewers at home that just might be wondering why that is. As we see the athletes getting ready to start off with the backstroke. And it looks like South Africa is in a very, very good position already with Christian Esterhuizen going up against Jessica Humphreys from Namibia on the left-hand side. And we will see, it does seem that in lane number 6, it is Mozambique that is also fighting hard at this point in time, followed by Botswana in lane number 3. Good turn there by the South African, quick and fast off the mark is Christian Esterhuizen, and Jessica Humphreys follows in suit with Team Mozambique and Botswana in 3rd and 4th respectively. For Team Namibia, it will be Oliver Durant that will be next in action for Team Namibia as Jessica Humphreys comes in, and it does become a close-knit race as South Africa has Georgia Else that is in action for them currently. Still in the lead is South Africa, but Namibia gaining quite a momentum here with Oliver Durant in the mix and chasing hard in this instance. While in 3rd, it does seem that Botswana has taken that lead, snatched it from Mozambique that they had earlier on in lane number 6 and 3. So keep a close eye on that as well as we continue and see the 3rd, of course, the 3rd of the race, 3rd swimmer of these races coming through. And it is Team Namibia that takes that lead at this point in time, and with South Africa short on the heels. So yet another turn here. What is going to be happening between these athletes? As we said, a very closely contested race here at the end between Namibia and South Africa. Currently Namibia in the lead for that gold medal position, followed by Botswana on the left hand side in lane number 3. And now we've got the final jump in, and it's all about the ladies in action in lane number 4 and 5. And it comes down to this exact moment, and it seems that South Africa is ever so slightly edging past the Namibians as we see Madison Berg and Jessica going head to head in this instance. South Africa in the lead for this gold medal, and it does look like South Africa clocking in almost, and just making sure that they do keep that momentum going. And on the left hand side, still Botswana in the 3rd position. Still in the fight is Namibia in lane number 4, and they of course came into this as the top seeded with just a whole body's length between these two athletes, and it seems like South Africa snatches the win there over the home side with Namibia in 2nd place, and it's down now to 3rd position as we see actually on the far left hand side Zambia taking that 3rd place win, followed by Botswana in 4th, and followed by Mozambique and Angola. There in your screen is of course the South African champions as they snatch that win from the Namibians in the very last changeover. Another look at that action, of course, started off with a backstroke for these teams. Very strategic from these teams, some opting to start with the men, and some opting to start with the ladies. Good finish there by South Africa at the end in lane number 5, coming into this heat or into this race as the second seeded, with Zambia actually being the surprise package of it all, coming in with no time and then actually clocking in at 4 minutes 5 seconds and 46 splits at the end, with both Namibia and South Africa improving the personal best, as well as Zimbabwe in lane number 2. So South Africa actually taking 15 seconds off their previous time, while Namibia takes off a whole 3 seconds, followed by Zimbabwe as well, with 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds taken off the time. So that concludes the action for tonight's finals here at the Cube in Swakopmund. We will be moving over to those final presentations and medals in a short while, as we see the officials just wrapping things up and recollecting all the necessary equipment. Of course, if you are in the Swakopmund vicinity, do come along tomorrow. It's of course day 2 that promises for more action across the board from as early as 9 o'clock right here at the Cube in Swakopmund. So do come join us here, as well as on Monday. Of course, the athletics starts at the Vanita Stadium. So do come out and support not just the able-bodied athletes, but as well as the para-athletes that are featuring for the first time. What a historic moment for these athletes, as well as it has been. It is one of the first occasions where a mixture of the athletes will be represented here in Region 5. So do come along and join us here. Of course, we are owning the moment. This is ultimately more than the games at this point in time. As we take another look at some of the action for today, of course, the beautiful races that we saw earlier on in the heats, as well as the finals wrapping up the day here in Swakopmund. This, of course, being the heats earlier on today, where the finalists were determined. Good races and good action that we've seen from these athletes in this 11th edition of the Region 5 Youth Games. as we see the athletes moving in closer for, of course, the medal presentation. We see the boys of the 4x100 meter freestyle relay lined up and ready in third position. Of course, Mozambique snatching that win at the end of the day from Zimbabwe, clinching that third and place and bronze medal for Team Zimbabwe with 3 minutes 33 seconds and 37 splits on the board. While Team Namibia comes in on second position with a improved time on the previous time, taking a whole 2 seconds and 9 splits off the original time to clock in at 3 minutes 28 seconds and 75 splits. Of course, in that team for Team Namibia is Luke Beekers, Rodney Veeres, Oliver and Michael Michael, the captain of Team Namibia. And in first position, none other than the South Africans. It is for gold medal, clocking in at 3 minutes 24 seconds and 83 splits on the board. Bit of a tight squeeze there, but they all made it onto the podium. And it is Joshua Estreisen, Guy Wessels, Pretorius, and then Tumelo for Team South Africa, clinching that gold medal at this year's youth Region 5 Youth Games here in Swakopmund. Congratulations there to the three teams. Of course, taking bronze medal is Team Zimbabwe, Mozambique, pardon me, in the 4x100 meter freestyle here at Swakopmund, followed by the Team Namibia in clinching that silver medal for the local side. And then we have the side of South Africa clinching that gold medal position with Estreisen, Wessels, Pretorius and Tumelo snatching that and making the South Africans proud with yet another gold medal. Coming up, of course, is the next medal presentation of the women's 4x100 meter freestyle relay, we had the ladies all in action from Angola all the way to Botswana, but it was ultimately South Africa that snatched the victory, claiming that gold medal with a very dominant performance, while we had Zimbabwe in second, followed by Namibia in third. There you have the ladies lining up and ready for the medal presentation. Team Namibia, of course, consisting out of Madison, Nukosho, Jessica, and Roslinda. Team Namibia clinching that bronze medal with 4 minutes on the dot and 39 splits recorded for Team Namibia to snatch that bronze medal at the end. Of course, very tightly contested between them and Zimbabwe, pardon me, in the very last split second, as Zimbabwe actually clocked in at 3 minutes 59 seconds and 54 splits. And what a closely contested match between these sides, and ultimately exactly what the youth games are all about, growing and encouraging each other to be better than we were yesterday. So here is the Zimbabwean lineup as they get the silver medals from Rian Steyn, the president of NASFED, Namibia Aquatics Federation here in Namibia. The gold medal then going to South Africa, with them clocking in at a final time of 3 minutes 54 seconds and 38 splits at the end of the day, with their gold medal, of course, with a star-studded lineup. Jessica, Morgan, Maya, and Indiana all represented in this lineup for South Africa. Maya only 15 years of age, with Jessica and Indiana 18 and Morgan being the eldest on 19. congratulations to those relay teams, of course, for the 4 by 100 meter freestyle relay for the ladies. It is Team South Africa that snatches the win, as we see them taking a whole podium selfie, if you like. Of course, the final medal ceremony that will be taking place for today is, of course, that of the mixed under 19 4 by 100 meter medley that we saw earlier on. And what a race it was. Team Namibia and South Africa switching positions there a couple of times before South Africa ultimately snatched the victory at the end. You can see some of the ladies stepping up and just getting into the next line for the relay. Of course, South Africa having taken this one, and they were in lane number 5, and it was where they improved the previous tally of 4 minutes 19 seconds and 21 splits, all the way by 15 seconds improvement to clock in at 3 minutes 58 seconds and 12 splits. So well done there to Team South Africa at the very end. What a performance by them. And then Team Namibia coming in second place. Of course, they had a 4 minute and 4 seconds and 24 splits on the board going into this race, and they improved it with just under 4 seconds to clock in at 4 minutes and 33 splits. As we hear Zambia clocking in at 4 minutes of 5 seconds and 46 splits. What a race there by Zambia. We were actually looking closely at the race between Botswana and Mozambique in lane 3 and 6, but it was Zambia on the far left lane that actually stole the hearts and snatched in to claim that third place bronze medal, while Namibia had to settle for the second place medal. You can see Team Namibia just trying to sort out their positions there, receiving the silver medal from Rian Steyn, the president of NASFED. And now Team South Africa with the gold medal. The tally was, as I said, improved with 15 seconds, and what a staggering performance by them to claim that gold medal. Of course, Team South Africa lined up as Christian Esterhuizen, Georgia Els, the likes of Matthew Pretorius and Jessica Carmody, that all represented and somehow, somewhere got a medal today, whether it was a gold, a silver or bronze, all well represented for Team South Africa. Congratulations once again to those three teams. Of course, Zambia snatching the bronze medal, while Namibia had to settle for silver with a demanding performance and a close-knit one coming between them and South Africa, as South Africa scoops the gold. So that concludes today's action here at the first day of the swimming. That's a session, afternoon session here at the Cube in Swakopmund. We do ask you to join us tomorrow morning bright and early once again as we bring you day 2 of the swimming here in Swakopmund. That's it from us here at the Dome or the Cube. Catch us tomorrow, and until then, have a lekker evening and see you tomorrow.